Any business is vulnerable when you've got one person that has too much on their plate. Not just from the risk that's involved if something happens to them, but the more that someone has on their plate, the more potential for overwhelm, the more potential for stress, the more potential for burnout, immune disorders, immune conditions, and just getting sick. And what's interesting, when you contrast that, we're actually recruiting, I think right now, we've got 2 or 3 that start next week in the social department. We've got another 4 that we're recruiting from, and all those people, for the most part, are going to be taking work off Tracy, and they'll be full-time roles. So we literally have one person that's doing the job of at least 7 people full-time. But what I would love to see Tracy do is, rather than being so hands-on, I'd love her to be more hands-off, strategic, and more leadership-orientated and management-orientated, where she's making sure that things are being done at a high level.
I hear a lot of people say, well, how do I know when I'm being taken advantage of? For Tracy, how do you ensure someone like that doesn't burn out?
You force them to stop. I can't tell you how many times we've had to force Tracy to slow down. We've had to force Tracy to hand things over. That's the catch-22 with talent. When people are really fucking good at what they do, they love it so much that they want to keep going. They want to work hard. They want to, in some cases, work until they break. That's good and bad. The good thing is you've got someone who has an internal intrinsic drive that goes well beyond reciprocation for a paycheck. At the same time, you've got to manage that individual from a performance perspective, understanding sustainability and the continuity of the role. And that's number one. A good leader, is a good coach, and a good coach knows when to rest their players. And you've got to know when to rest your players. You've got to know when your players are overtraining. You've got to know when your players are undertraining. You've got to know when to put the pressure on. You've got to know when to pull the pressure off. What leaders have to do is we've got to stay above the game. We can't get too in the game, because then we're a player. And when you're a player, you don't get to see the strategy. You don't get to see the 5 moves ahead. Although, some players do, but yeah, you've got to see the bigger picture constantly, because that's what leadership is in some respects.